Alright. Why not fight feminism? As men, whether we're each a men's activist, or just going our own way, or a man lacking self-hatred, it's easy to recognize social violence against ourselves when we look at feminism. Hey,
great turnout.
Even this observation will be met with shrieks that the definition of feminism is equality. And that anybody who doesn't agree with that definition is a woman-hating, evil, shriveled penis, neck-bearded rape apologist. But we're not using the dictionary as our guide. Instead, we're using our acquired real-life knowledge of the real world that feminism is just one political camp's extension of gynocentric urge. And although policies driven by feminists are noxious, they're antithetical to civil rights, the feminist enterprise is a surface symptom of a deeper issue. Did tens of millions of men die during the wars of the world due to feminism? No. They died because... my script is getting covered in water. They died because in human cultures, men have always been disposable. You, gentlemen, are utilities. Well, this huge crowd, all of you... No, it's fine. You gentlemen are utilities to be used to your destruction and then discarded when you're broken. And the narrative constructed in recent history of the endless victimization of women and their subjugation by men is a narrative. It's a story. And the fact that as a narrative it doesn't match with our shared understanding of reality doesn't much matter. I was a men's rights activist for a number of years, and as a large part of what I did was to point out the difference between reality as I experienced it, as I understood it, and the narrative, the feminist fantasy of every man being a rapist in potential and every woman an eternal, helpless, childlike victim. Has anybody here ever heard about 1 in 4 women on a university campus will be sexually assaulted? This is a stat so deeply embedded in the public story of our culture that we can just say the words 1 in 4 without saying women or rape or sexual assault, and almost everybody in earshot will know exactly what we're talking about. It's the victimization of women. We're not talking about how many people carry a genetic predisposition to diabetes. We're not talking about how many trees in BC have pine beetles. You say 1 in 4, everybody knows it's women. And all the actual studies, the statistics, the law enforcement publication of collected crime data will not dislodge the fact from the public consciousness. It's false, but it won't go away. It's like a zombie. And those whose political narrative is bolstered by that 1 in 4 number have no hesitation to keep trotting it out, false as they know it is. The real number is actually closer to 1 in several thousand for anybody who cares about reality. But I still say don't fight feminism. Don't oppose it. And not because it's not based on lies, it is, and not because it's violent and hateful, because it's those things too. Simply because you will not stop it. What you will end up with is just being closer in your personal character and spirit to the flingers of hate when you try to oppose them. You'll just get their shit all over you. In fact, if you are really successful in taking down or taking the steam out of some feminist campaign or other, the primary impact of that will be you will amplify their sense of victimization. And the feminists thrive on victimization. You will energize that sector of the feminist enterprise to greater excesses than they would have previously entertained. And if you need an example of this, just think of Anita Sarkeesian. She's a grifter, she's a con artist, and every time that this is pointed out in public, she is re-victimized. And then she walks away with another fat bag full of cash. And a Humanist of the Year award for all her troubles. Debunking of their political lying is transmogrified into their victimhood, and that is the fuel that they run on. And there's another reason to not fight feminism. It helps men. Now I know that feminists will claim the point that feminism helps men, but they generally mean something different than what I am suggesting here. There are a number of people who, in response to feminist-driven social policies and laws, now advocate for traditionalism, or neo-traditionalism, or some other model of female relations and family dynamics that gets lumped under the category of traditionalism. Some variation of the traditional family framework is what we generally assume to have been standard prior to the innovations that we now have that produce a feminist culture. And it is feminism we have to thank for the abandonment by men of the old, even the imaginary old social model. The model that put men's self-actualization last in line after the satisfaction of women's safety, provision, comfort, shopping, and shoes. And it is feminism, I'm sorry, I just reread that line. I lost my place. But men wouldn't have woken up to just what a crap deal they were getting if it had not been for the movement we now refer to as feminism. And it wasn't first or even second wave feminism that woke men up. It was the current gang of idiots. Being told that all men are rapists and that's all they are wasn't enough back in the 60s. Being told that in spite of history's record of male creativity, that if you're a man and you're creative, screw you. Because the thing that you're best at, you're a second-rater at. And women are better at that than you. And the only reason they didn't invent almost all of society and civilization is because you and your male ancestors held them down. Like the tyrant that you are. And being told that when you do things that benefit women, you are being just as sexist as some guy who actively disparages and hates women, that wasn't enough either. Being told the way you sit on public transit is somehow an act of aggression that harms women. Being told that if you're a male feminist, no matter how much you do, you will never have the esteem of a female feminist. Nothing will ever be enough. And I still say, in spite of all of that, do not fight feminism. And the reason is that the stone-cold hatred and the weapons-grade crazy is what men apparently need to see in order to break free in their own minds. But not to break free from feminism, that's just a symptom, it's just a surface feature. To break free from the deeper problem of gynocentrism. The social force that leads men to die on the job for somebody else's shopping, or to die in a foreign battlefield, to keep the price of gas down, so that a soccer mom can fill up her minivan. With feminism, you're a hated subhuman, still chained to the traditional gender role of protect and provide and die when it's convenient for others, but without feminism, what would have been is traditionalism, which is where you're a mule chained to a cart and you once in a while get a carrot. I don't think you're a mule, and I don't think a carrot is good enough. But it took the excesses of modern feminism to properly wake men up. And some of them still need to wake up. In fact, most of them. So it's going to take more of the stone-cold crazy and the weaponized hate to wake the rest of men up. And that's why I say do not fight feminism. Don't oppose it. In fact, I want to thank modern feminists for what they've done, because they are men's wake-up call.
And I was going to this philosophy because I was recording on the farm.